So you might also be asking yourself, okay, I'm a school teacher and I have subjects that involve practicals. Maybe you have physics practicals, you have chemistry practicals, biology practicals, probably. But you are thinking, how can I be able to do practicals in the online environment? So there are many ways. So one of the best ways that you can be able to use is actually to use what you call virtual labs, online virtual labs, which are actual labs that are designed online to be able to simulate the different learning experiments that come up in the science subjects and in many other art subjects as well. So we have different resources where you can be able to access these virtual labs, different web links, which will allow you to be able to explore and be able to navigate, look into the appropriate lab experiment for your own lesson or for your own subject. So please make use of these virtual labs to be able to help you in the way you are navigating and whether you can be able to allow some form of practical engagement with your students in online environment. So that is one way. The second way is actually to be able to allow one teacher who is having a lab or maybe a lab in one of the schools, and then that teacher can go into the lab and then do the lab experiments and procedures all together. And probably at the same time, someone is recording the session. And then this session can be shared with the students in many platforms, maybe on YouTube, maybe on Moodle or Learning Management System, any online platform, or even on Facebook media or social media, where you want your students to be able to access this video recording of the session that the teacher had when he was actually explaining about this lab environment. So this is another way you can be able to do lab classes in online environment. But again, in most cases, another way is also to be able to give what you call project-based activities that will actually allow the students to be able to think of the different concepts and then apply them in many aspects and in many ways into the real life experiences he or she is having in the home or in the areas where they are residing. So those are basically 3 ways to be able to conduct practical experiences, give practical experiences to them in the online environment as well. But then, now you could be looking into assessment. How do we assess students in the classroom, especially in the online environment? So some of you might be asking, okay, now we are in the online environment, but we don't know really how to assess students. How is this going to be done? Well, research has shown that you can be able to use many ways. One of which could be if you are using a learning platform, which is called maybe a learning management system, maybe LMS, such as Moodle, for instance. It has some inbuilt features where you can be able to create activities, quizzes, assignments, and everything. And some of these activities can be automatically graded, while some of them can be graded by using peer assessment, where 2 people assess the work of another one. So in that case, you can be able to do some form of assessment in that way. But again, in many cases in online learning, we give assessment in terms of giving an open book exam, where you give an open exam where students will be able to read from different books, collect materials from different resources, and then be able to respond to the question and put a deadline where the students can be able to submit that particular response to the exam after they have attempted the questions. And lastly, in many cases, what we do is give a take-home exam. So take-home exam means you are creating an exam and then you allow them to go and ask from anywhere where they can be able to respond to the exams. And then in the end, they can be able to write a summary or report of the different questions they have attempted. And those questions will be submitted to you as a teacher. And then you need to mark them and grade them. So if they can be able to do that, in many ways, you can have some form of assessment. It may not be the proper way of doing assessment as we are used in the face-to-face mode, but in some way, it can be able to help be able to gain some sense of how this assessment has been done and what you can be able to improve in the process.